Good evening, everyone. So tonight I'm going to dive into something weird. That was almost a throwaway moment while I'm hanging out on Izzyverse NYC. But I just started to go down the rabbit hole of 9.8 sales for Absolute Batman #1. So again, this is like a new book. You could still get it raw for about $65, which I still think is pretty wild, right? But the slabs are selling for $370, $380, $360. Like the fair market value of a 9.8 is like about $377. So I was like, this is like, it caught my attention. It's just weird, right? So I do some Googling, whatever. And that's when it gets interesting. 59 copies of this book happen to sell allegedly, right, from this one seller on eBay. 59 copies. They have it listed for $379.99, right? 59 sold, 4 available. Sure, there's like a little coupon or whatever. But it's a bit suspicious, right? So I found this really unusual, I don't want to like overly blast this person. Like as a collector, this is just like it feels bizarre. My alarms are going off, and and people are saying like, Cliff, you're not that kind of collector, and blah, blah, blah. There's other types of collectors out there. And I'm like, yeah, but like, this should be setting some bells off. So I actually reached out to Manu at the 9.9 Newsstand, who knows about grading, markets, scams. He's the man. I felt like this was the right person to go to. I tell him I'm highly suspicious. He's like, what's suspicious? I'm like, 59 sales. It's an outrageous price. It stinks of market manipulation or something. And he's like, yeah, but they don't all sell for that price. He's like, look, here's one that sold for 179. Here's one that sold for 206. He's like, and imagine if you dig, this guy probably accepts offers, whatever, right? But still, he has sold 59 of these. And so like that data is getting out there. And also isn't that weird that this dude has over 60 copies of a 9.8? There are 3,000 out there on the CGC census right now. So it's strange. So what do we know? We know that somebody is buying these at $300 to $400, right? We also know the seller isn't necessarily getting this price every time. 3,000 slabs for a modern book is pretty crazy. Maybe it is, maybe it's not market manipulation, but the pattern is strange enough to make an experienced collector like myself have an eyebrow raise. So the prices look inflated, and this volume from one seller has me bothered, right? Could it be flipping? Can it be hype? Could it be an algorithm manipulation of some sort? One seller just being really aggressive with offers? I don't know. Is the census a bit bloated for a book that's so new? I think so. So I don't expect these premium prices to last whatsoever, but I still think it's very, very strange. So I'm throwing it out to you guys. Have you seen these sales? Do you think it's market manipulation? Are any of you buyers of Absolute Batman #1 and 9.8? Keep in mind, you could buy a near mint copy online for about $65, right? Receive it, send it to CGC, ask for express grading, and still at the end of the day spend less. You could probably do two copies express grading, and still spend less, or at least you'd spend around $300, just under $300 or $300 total doing that on your own, and you'd have two 9.8s. So I think it's strange. I want to hear your thoughts. Leave your comments below. This is like my first, maybe only special report. but I think there's something going on here. So that's it. But more importantly, read your comics, and I love you folks. Take care of yourselves.